What is up, traders? I've just bought a 25k Apex trading account and I'm about to have a play around on the Euro market. That one is 6E. It's the September contract, and we're going to have a look at the SuperDOM, Time and Sales, and a couple of charts as well. First things first, I'm going to connect the account and see what happens. Right now I've got a yellow dot in the screen. I'll pull that up a little higher so you can see that. And we're just waiting for the connection to pop through. Here we go. We've got time and sales coming through. We're going to check out so the price, as I can see on the 60-minute chart, larger time frame, 1.0927. So on the 1 minute, I'm going to just scroll down to where pricing is, because basically I'm just using the arrow keys on the keyboard to go up and down. Last time I had a look, the pricing was a lot higher on the Euro. Now, as you can see, the time and sales, that's the real data that's coming through. Bought 6, we've got the time and sales coming through every second. Over here, just going to log that one in. Over here we've got the histogram, the volume, and when I enter a trade it's going to show the P&L that I'm going to either make or lose. Now, I'm not a professional on this market. I don't really necessarily know the ins and outs of how to trade this market. So I'm just going to have a play around and see what happens. One thing I will show you is how to set this all up. So if, for example, we go new, time and sales is here, and then what you can do is right click in the space and then go instruments. You'll have a range of instruments to choose from. This one doesn't have like an easy way to kind of pick your instrument and change settings, that kind of thing, because time and sales, it is what it is. It's just the data coming through as it happens in the market. So a lot of red there, a lot of green. It's changing every second. And we're going to use this information to try and determine who has the strength, who has the power in the market. And then we're going to use the ladder over here to kind of give us a bit of an idea of where we are in price and who's using the volume that we actually want to look at. So at the 65 price here, there's a lot of volume coming through, so that's a really important price. And now we can see that the price is moving down a little bit. It's moving away from this level. Now, I've only got level 1 data here, so I don't have the limit orders, that kind of thing, either side. But what I really want to focus on is the time and sales, what's happening right now, who has the power. So we can see it's really moving down away from this strong volume point here. It's kind of bounced off that level, so to speak. And hopefully what we'll see is it'll push right down and start seeing a bit of strength. So we'll start seeing some strength come back in the time and sales, the what's happening right now. Unfortunately, in the SuperDOM, we don't see necessarily what's actually being bought and sold. We only see the limit orders either side at the current market price. We don't see the depth because we don't have the level 2 data, but the time and sales is really critical. So watching this, we've got the 1 minute chart set up. So that's all 6E, 6E, and 6E. We've got the 1 hour. Ideally, we're probably going to see it kind of bounce with inside itself over here. But what we would like to see happen, I'm guessing, is a drop below this level and get some real momentum to the short side, which we're kind of seeing. If we break past this low over here, I might be interested in getting short. However, I've always got to remember the market likes to come back down below the low, take up the liquidity and shoot off back in the other direction. So let's just watch it play out here for a moment. I'm going to trade this live for you guys and just show you what I kind of do when I have an Apex account. I don't really trade futures, but I really like the concept of how it all works. Okay, so we've seen some activity there. A lot of orders coming through. Green, 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 green. We're kind of coming down to this lower end of the histogram. So are we going to see a turnaround? I'm going to set this to 4 contracts. That's the maximum I can do. I'm just going to get in and out, have a play around, and just see what happens. I just want to do this video to kind of get you guys excited about what's going on. So I'm going to use the market button here to take me in and out. When I see something of value, I'm just going to get in now. Oh, it was a bad time to get in. I didn't think that through overly well. So if we break past this low quite heavily, I'm going to jump out. So I'm just going to hit the close button. Now, one thing to note is that if you do hit the close, it's going to give you an extra pip to fill you. It's better if you can to press it on the other side of the SuperDOM so that it takes your order then and there. Okay, we had a bit of activity here. Are we going to break lower? Yeah. I'm just going to reverse that order, and it's probably going to come back the other way. It's always the way. But we've broken down past this low, and on the 1 hour, we've got some serious 1, 2, 3 red coming in. The wicks are quite heavy. So I'm just going to sit on that for a moment, watching the time and sales, getting some serious strength back the other way. So it's done exactly what I kind of mentioned, is it pops down below the low, takes that liquidity, and then kind of comes back up. But based on the 1 hour, it looks like it could just keep falling down. So we'll just see where it goes. Probably shouldn't be trading 4 contracts all at once either. But for the purposes of this video, let's have a go. You can see the order flowing through pretty heavily here. Had a strong bar up. Hopefully that's just going to take us in. Take some of that weak hands short out of the market so that we can come down a bit further, but we'll see. There's every chance that it's going to trade inside itself. So in this area here for the day, or at least for the next sort of hour or two. As you can see, started off at 25k, so I bought a 25k account. This trade is sitting at 250 loss, and I lost 200 just a moment ago. I'm really hoping this kind of turns around shortly. So the account that I bought is a Rithmic account, because I'm just going to trade through the actual NinjaTrader platform, because I like the way that the time and sales are set up and the SuperDOM. I'll probably buy another account and just show you the Tradeovate, how that plays out in the time and sales and the SuperDOM as well, because I know a lot of you guys are enjoying the browser activity. You don't have to actually mess around with setting up the NinjaTrader. It is a bit of a process. I do have a video on setting it up as well. I'll link it in the description below. I'm going to show you just quickly on the NinjaTrader how to add an indicator. So I don't mind having a look at the moving average ribbon. So I'm going to double click. I'm just going to leave it all as is. I'm going to apply. Now we can see that the ribbon, we're running on the lower side, so we're below it. And if we kind of come up, tap maybe this orange line here, we'll hopefully expect to see some weakness come in, and on the 1 hour chart we'll fulfill this kind of potential red zone down below this area. In the history of price, we've got all this pricing here, and hopefully it'll just come down to match this pricing over here. So we're coming down a little bit. Still at a 225 loss. Really want this to kind of soak up the volume and then just drop for the next hour or so. As you can see, I'll just quickly show you on the SuperDOM as well. Columns. So how to get the P&L and the volume. I find those two very helpful. So they're basically just P&L available up here. So you double click, and then the volume. So you double click that as well. And that basically gives you the histogram kind of activity that we've got here. The market's really powering up right now. Probably coming back up to this level here, where the market's happy to trade at this area. This is a good example of why you should hold your original thought of that long position. I did a reversal, but we're hoping for the longer term it's going to come right down on the 1 hour chart. As I said, guys, this isn't my favorite market to trade. I prefer trading the DAX and the FTSE markets. But the euro gives plenty of volume at around this time of day. So that's why I'm using it at the moment. So we're just watching this play out. It's kind of finding its feet at this 15 price point. So it's either going to power up or hopefully drift back down. I don't think it'll just drop off too heavily right now unless we see something shift in the market. It's got the time and sales. There was a big order there, 66. Here we go. It's battling it out. There's some activity. If we can drop below, yep. If we can really get a bit of momentum short, we could be on. So I'm going to talk a bit about trying to pass the Apex account. Now, one important feature that the Apex has that a lot of other markets or funded providers don't have is the trailing drawdown. So you can't kind of just hold a trade and let it go, because if in that trade it comes right up and then comes back down within that drawdown in that same trade, it can stop you out. So you can't necessarily just hold a trade and hope it goes right to target on the one go, because there's every chance that you're going to get some retracements. Market's really powering up here. If we kind of get a break above this pricing structure in the ribbon, it's looking a little bit grim. But what I was saying before is basically, if the trade goes up and you get a retracement, that retracement can actually take you out, even if it doesn't come back into a loss. It can still be in profit, but because that trade might have pushed your profit or your high up to a certain point, that retracement in the one trade can take you back out because of that trailing drawdown. So just be really aware of the trailing drawdown and what can happen with it. Just going to move that over a little bit. And basically what that means is that getting in and out of trades reasonably quickly, you're not holding positions forever type thing until you get over that point. So once you're in a funded account, you can kind of play around with it a bit more once you're over a certain threshold. But for the moment, when you're trying to pass an evaluation, here we go, it's really powering up now. In the evaluation process, they really want to see that you can get in and out of trades quite quickly, not let your losses run, and not just ride out one single big trade that takes you through to profit. So if we can kind of fight it out here and bounce off this histogram level at the $500 loss P&L, got a lot of volume here, and hopefully this will be a good area for people to get short on. We've kind of had a bit of confirmation that we're pushing down. Was that just soaking up the weekends and the volume? Or is it a real strong push up? Does the market actually want to go north? So we're going to find out shortly. And I'm going to take you through the indicators on this one. We'll see if there's any other indicators that you might be interested in. So order flow VWAP, does that work? No. Here we go. So we're at the red moving average ribbon. We're kind of getting a bit of turnaround. We've got kind of like a couple of pin bars up here. We're hoping to see that really drop off, but if we do break up above and close above this red line, that could be the account kind of done and dusted. So we'll see if we can power back down, really take advantage of this 1, 2, and hopefully a third to push right down on the longer time frame. So we've taken a fair bit of heat. It's been pretty brutal. This is on the Rithmic account, 25K. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. Your support really does mean a lot to me. If there's no support, I'm not going to do the videos, but if you enjoy the videos, please do get behind it. It doesn't cost you anything, so just hit the like button, subscribe so you can see more of these videos that will hopefully help you achieve your goals and make something of your trading career get better, always improve. So we're seeing a bit of dropping off here. We're heavily in the red though. Probably should have traded lower contracts so I could scale in. And it's come back up the other way. It's not that confident. We want to see some serious selling coming in. So we're just watching that time and sales to try and get an idea and a feel for what the market is trying to do. So these are the active orders. These are people that are actually pushing orders into the market. And they're effectively really controlling what's going on, who's got the strength. So not only is it by color, but you can see the number here is how many contracts are going in. So there's a big green one there, big green one, another big green one. Heaps of green. Okay, we're getting a bit of downward momentum. Here we go. We really want to push below these lows that we've got previously. If we can't do that, it's probably going to power up really quickly. As we can see, it's failed 1, 2, 3 times to go up above the red ribbon. And we kind of just opened, the market effectively opened or got serious in the London session about 35 minutes ago. We saw some heavy drop, came back up, failed. We're hoping that the market will just peel off. One thing I'm noticing is the green orders seem to be a lot bigger in number. There's a lot of green. They're a lot bigger than the red or the ask. So the bid is the bid's the red and the ask is the green. So we've got properties. Let's see if we can change what's going on. So we've got ask, green, and then we've got bid is the red. We've got different settings that we can kind of set to different meanings of the order type. So for example, if there's been a above the ask, it'll come in as like an olive green. So basically, there's more orders coming in than the ask could fulfill at that time. So there's, I guess, slippage. And same for the bid. So for example, below the bid has a different color. So just watching this play out. Hopefully we fail here again, but we're getting a bit of build up without breaking to the downside. So if we kind of pop out of this red band here, it could be really dire. So we're really just hoping that we get another bounce. We've soaked up some of the buyers that are willing to transact at these levels without breaking out, and then we'll turn back around for the short. So another technique that some people might use is trying to trade over, say, 10 days, 20 days, 40 days, whatever your target. And let's say you've got to make 1,500. So the 25K, it's a 1,500 target. And let's say you want to do it in 30 days or 40 days. So you would divide, one way to do that is divide the target by the amount of days you want to do it in, and it might be, you might need to make, say, $200 a day. So you get in every day, you have that target, and you get in and out of the trades, and all you're doing is trying to make that $200 for the day, little micro targets. And then that way you get used to entering and exiting trades, not taking too much loss, and really abiding by the trailing drawdown requirements and the trader requirements that Apex have. So that's one way that people try and pass these accounts is, every day you get in, you watch the markets, you try and take these little snippets when you get the opportunity. So for example, at these red levels, people might be thinking, okay, well, I want to go short. So it's tapped it here. You could have got short there, and built a position potentially, and then sort of got out when you kind of have, $50 or $100. And then you do that again, you get another good setup. Let's say it breaks out long here. They might say, oh, look, it's failed a few times. It hasn't dropped far enough. It's going to break out. So you're just waiting for these signs in the time and sales, using the histogram and trading smaller quantities to get in and out. And when you see some really strong activity, when it starts shooting in one direction, you can kind of take advantage of those opportunities. So it's really consolidating in price at the moment. Not seeing any swings either direction. There's still volume coming in though. Traders are really hoping that it's going to pick a direction soon. There's a 68 order there, 67. Some of these orders happen really fast. There's a lot of red coming in, so people are tapping that red side, the bid side. Buyers are coming back in. There's a lot of green. And here comes the red. Can they take hold? There's no real strength just yet. Here we go. Here we go. Did you see all of those 70 orders? The real big numbers, lots of them. People tapping that bid. If we get another push like that, you got to try and understand why people are getting in or tapping those particular orders. Is it to fill certain positions that they have to fulfill, get in and out of the market really quick? Is it to have a longer term order in the market? Are they exiting an opposing position? For example, let's say they were long and they want to get out. They're like, it's turning back around. and they're just getting out of that position, and that's why it's filling on the other side. So it may not necessarily be that they're certain about the direction. It could be that they're uncertain about the direction they originally got in, so they're jumping out. See, when the price really jumps around too, and you start getting huge orders coming through, that's when you really need to pay attention and try and determine who's trying to take hold here. Just very light numbers, sevens. There we go, a bit bigger. Very light on the green. And it changes so quickly. Very light on the green still. Very light. Bit more on the red. Saw some 60s. So that's the bid, people hitting the bid. A lot of green there, but small numbers. Small, bit of some bigger reds, 60s, more 60s. So we've got some big players hitting the bid side of the 6E at the moment. Some big ask hits there. We've got a lot of red, but not huge. It looks like they might be soaking up those long orders to hopefully take them short. Oh, people hitting the ask. Ask. A lot of green. But some big reds in there too. No definitive direction at the moment. Just watching this play out. What to look for is when you have the histogram here and it kind of builds, let's say, go up here a bit. Okay, we haven't built enough history, but for example, if we had another strong area here, the market could really play in between those 2 points, and traders could be looking to make money in between those levels that people are happy to trade at. But then in between, you kind of get that movement and that push because there's not enough volume in there to keep the price at that same level. Dropping, it looks like we've got some buyers coming in, but it's not enough to hold it up just yet. There's a lot bigger numbers on the green on the ask side. And there we go, there's the red. Green. Really want to see a definitive, some really big numbers all in one color would be ideal. So at least we know what direction the market's likely to head. At the moment it's very balanced. A lot of red there, people hitting the bid. So that's sellers entering, aggressively getting out. Here we go. Still balanced. There's not really any one lot of orders that have a bigger number. People hitting the ask. Bids come straight back over the top though. Okay, there's a bit of activity now. There's a lot of red, but they're smaller numbers now than the ask. The ask has the bigger numbers. So is that the buyers coming back in to push it back up? You know, maybe they'll come down, take some more liquidity, and then retrace back long again. There's a lot of green. Here we go, there's a lot of red. Here's the red. Didn't really shake the market up very much though. It's very balanced. It's probably going to come back up again here unless we see some really strong selling coming in. Ideally what we want to see is a really strong break below these lows. We've got that 1 hour chart. We've got 10 minutes left on that candle. So if we can get a really good move here, we've got a 1, 2, 3 off the tops. Like a very soft double top there. If we can really see that push down, but it might just do another reversal and stay consolidated. So just watching that time and sales. A lot of asks coming in. The bids are small numbers. It's not a great sign for us. It's very balanced, but it looks like there's a lot of ask coming in. People hitting the ask, and then the bid gets hit quite heavily after that. So it's like they're soaking up that volume to hopefully take it short. As I said, I'm not an expert on this market. I'm not overly experienced in the time and sales or depth of market either. Here we go. Here's that activity I was looking for. Big strong push. Big strong push. More than just taking up the liquidity, hopefully. Still looks kind of even on the time and sales. The chart looks great, but the time and sales isn't really indicating anything crazy to me just yet. So we're also looking at the speed of which the orders are coming through. So when this flows really quickly, there's a lot of orders flowing through. There we go, that was a fair bit of ordering. We really want to see some fast action. You know, like, here we go, a bit more volatility. It's coming in. It's going the wrong direction though. So we really want to see it soak up all these buyers and short the market out. Still very even. So just to note, the time and sales on the futures contracts all goes through a centralized location. So it's all kind of verified data. The difference between this and CFD providers, so your normal brokers with the MetaTrader 4 or 5, is often, for example, like a market maker. They're making their own market, so they're creating their own volume. So depending on who their clients are, the volume and the data that is on their platform could be very different to what the big guys in, for example, Wall Street or the London trading desks over there could be very different, because they're not necessarily using CFD providers, they're using the futures contracts. So it's far better to see the time and sales from the real exchanges rather than your MetaTrader 4 or 5 platform, your CFD brokers. So that real data is how the pros trade. There we go. We've got some serious 128, 130. That's a lot of volume hitting that bid. So let's watch what plays out here. So this time and sales is an insight that you won't get with the broker, like with a CFD broker, for example. So that's why Apex is such good value, because you get that live data, you get the platform, and you get to watch these markets and learn, as well as have the potential to get funded with them as well. So those big volumes hasn't really interacted too much just yet. Could still be soaking up. Here we go, come on. It's very even. There we go, there's a lot of red. Some decent numbers. There's a lot more red than the green. This is the push down we were looking for. Can it continue? Can it hold? That's slowing down again. It's a decent move on the 1 hour candle. Okay, we've got 4 minutes till we have a new 1 hour chart. So our total P&L after that quick little loss I had at the start, sitting about $25 loss total. You've got to remember as well, with the Rithmic, you've got commissions coming in that you have to pay as well. So that $25 loss, for example, is probably going to be more like, you know, $30. You have an extra $5 there of commissions. So always remember that. Don't get in and out of trades too much without thinking about the commissions that you do have to pay. Because you'll check your actual account in Rithmic and you'll be like, oh, what, you know, I thought I was here, but I'm actually a little bit lower than that. So it's always something to think about. So I'd love to see this market really dip out here and just drop. Like we've got these candles back here, just had some serious drops. Gonna just move down a little bit. Pretty heavy pin bar there. Looks like the buyers could be coming back. So watching time and sales. It looks like the buyers are taking control. We've got 3 minutes. I just want to see it to the open of the next candle. Here comes some serious selling. Some big buy orders, a lot of buying. It's battling it out at this level. If we can get a particular direction here, if we can get it to go short. Here we go, sitting at $25 profit. I'm just going to wait. You know, it could backfire on me. It could fire up at the new next hour to shake the market out. But we're sitting in very close to break even after my initial loss there. And the reason I'm making this video is to kind of go over a few things, bits and pieces that I've picked up, show you how the SuperDOM works, show you the time and sales, give you a bit of insight as to why the time and sales is important. It's the actioned orders, the people that are actually transacting in the market. So the limit orders can be faked to some extent, particularly the level 2. You know, the intention isn't a hard and fast, I need to get in or I need to get out of the market right now. So that's why the time and sales is so important. Also, I like to kind of share with you my experience in doing these kind of funded programs, understanding the rules, the trailing drawdowns, and the techniques to kind of analyze the market and also work within the rules so that you can try and pass and get access to that capital. There's a lot of asks getting hit. Oh, there's the bids. We're 1 minute from that next hourly candle. We're having some really strong movement, and that's buying. Here we go. It's still quite even. There's more sellers right now, and there's the buyers. It's very even. They're really battling it out here. I'm hoping that this trend downwards is a continuation on the hourly. I'm just going to hang in there a little bit longer because we're creating some more volume right at this level here, 130. So in between here and here, we've established a bit of a base, so hopefully we can drop down a little further. Just get a little bit of profit for today before I close out this video. There's a lot of selling coming in now. Oh, a lot of buying. So that's why you color code this, so you can see whether it's red or green, and then you got to look at the numbers to see how big are these orders actually coming through. Got on the 1 hour, see it kind of coming down. I might be happy just to take this where it is, close the video off. Okay, so it closed me out. I hit the market and closed it, and it's given me 125 total profit for the day. Now I'm just going to flick over to Rithmic to kind of show you. It's kind of coming back up. I don't want to watch, because if we do drop down really heavily, you know, that's how people start to revenge trade and really get upset. You know, they feel like they've missed out. They want to get in, but it's too late. All that stuff. So I'm happy. I've made $125 for the day. I'm going to jump over to the Rithmic account. We're coming down now. That's okay. I don't want to watch. So over to the Rithmic account balance, 25,087. Having a look. Peak balance, 121. So it's about sort of, what's that? $33, $34 difference between the peak and where I actually got out. So that's going to be where it bases the high from. So that's your trailing drawdown measured against the liquidation peak. So obviously I didn't close out any trades at this 121 because I just started the account. I was in that trade, it pushed me into that profit, and then I closed and I've ended up with $87 P&L. So you've got your P&L over here, total commission. So I traded 8 contracts, as you can see here, fill buy, fill sell. Now what that means is I've opened 8 contracts and I've closed 8 contracts. So 4 were a buy and then 4 were a sell on both sides. So you've got the in and the out there. Auto liquidate, that's the 1500. So that's both the target is 1500, but also the max loss. So for example, if I hit 23,500, so 23,500, this will change from active to admin only, and basically that means you've failed the accounts potentially, or you've passed. And then the commission, so this is one thing, so $37 of commission has been taken out. So that's because I've traded 8 contracts, and that's given me $37 worth of commission. My P&L left over after that. So remember in the NinjaTrader we had about 125 profit. So that's that plus that. So the NinjaTrader doesn't show, I think you can set it up that way, but it doesn't actually show your actual P&L after the commissions. So when you're trading with the Rithmic, always check how much your commissions are so that you're not trading too much and just building up a heap of commission and not earning it actual profits. That's it from me, guys. Just wanted a quick run through of how it all looks and kind of the things that I'm looking for when I'm having a play around with the Apex Trader funding. We'll quickly jump back to see what's happened. We're holding steady. You know, it's probably going to drop out really heavily soon, but I'm happy with where I got in and out of. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Your support means a lot to me. And obviously comment any questions. I'll be happy to help you out wherever I can. Link to buy your own Apex Trader funding, getting access to the time and sales and the super depth of market, as well as the histograms and the charts, the futures exchange data. Jump over, there's a 50% off code in the link down in the description. So get involved and happy trading.